Did we kill the music? All right. We got music going on here too.
Hi, this is Scott Jordan, and you are watching live here at Cellars of Sonoma in beautiful Railroad Square, Santa Rosa, California.
People having fun with wine. Music guys.
And welcome to TV Tuesday Live. This is the show where we taste wine, we talk about wine. Tonight I got Dave Batt in the house.
Dave Batt in the house. He said that. I'm not Scott. Scott Jordan is not here today. He's somewhere between Arizona and here in an airplane, perhaps. He's off in that spring training land that he's been in, and he's asked me to step in, and I brought in somebody to join me here.
Hi.
Hi.
Should I introduce myself?
All right, you can. Maggie. This is Maggie Stannis.
Staines, Maggie Staines.
Staines.
And just like the wine Staines, but still spelled a little differently.
And you're in the wine business.
I sure am. Work at the lovely place called the Donham Estate down in Carneros. And there we specialize in Pinot Noir and a little bit of Chardonnay coming from estate-grown vineyards.
Well, that's perfect because today we're going to do some Chardonnay, we're going to do some Pinot Noir. We're going to be breaking some wine rules. We're going to mix things up a little bit and try some things we've all talked about in the past. Trying different glass shapes, see how that affects the wine quality. And we're also going to try we're going to drink wine out of order today. We're going to break the rule there. We'll probably start with some red and go to white. And then finally, we'll probably do some temperature variation things too. But I'm looking. All right!
You guys have no idea how tough that was.
What your arms are.
I'm just telling you, we were running. Dude.
Were you? Literally
Our
running.
plane landed at 3 o'clock, and then we had to get our car from the place that they keep the car,
The car park place, yeah. Yeah.
And then get on the freeway in Oakland, so we didn't get that until like 4 o'clock.
Wow.
So we were, do not come and visit Sonoma County unless you fly into the Santa Rosa airport.
Nice, yeah, that is nice.
That is a crazy ride.
Well, thanks for showing up. We have a show going on here. We don't like people to come in from off the street.
Can I sit in?
Yes,
I think you should.
I would love that.
Here, I tell you
how
what,
about we have-
I'll give you your spot over here. I'll jump over there.
Okay, well, let me get
We'll
on
move
the chair.
over.
All right, excellent. This will be great.
Yeah, so I had no idea what you were going to do, and so
Well, Maggie was playing your part.
she did really good.
Yeah, yeah,
Where did you get that?
yeah.
Where did you get that?
So we all could be Scott at the end of the show.
Oh. Hey, wait, I need mine.
See,
What do you think?
I love that. Well, let's switch and let's
make it happen.
I'm thirsty. Is there any wine in this place? We ran out of wine yesterday. We have not had any wine for an entire day. And
There was no wine on the plane?
that's not wine. That's grape juice that's fermented. That's
All good though.
Wow.
I'm gonna get some more glassware here.
Yeah. Let's I would like something cold. If anybody yeah. And I just have to tell you, those of you that are tuning in for the first time don't know what's been going on. My boys and I have been in Arizona at spring training. We go every year. This is our 5th year that we've gone together as a group. And it just so happened that the travel day fell on Tuesday. Last year, it opened on a Tuesday, and we did the show in Scottsdale at the pool.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it was really cool. But we saw the Giants game first, so we were a little loopy. But that's okay. We did our show, and then we got a message from my wife that said, "Cut." So it got kind of out of control, but So we're back. Had a great time. I got this this big mark on my head, just in case you guys look at that and go, what the heck happened to him? It was so hot in Arizona, something reacted with my hat, and it was just terrible. Anyway, it looks like some bad.
It was not a ball that hit you in
No, but I don't know if maybe a spider bit me, and then the hat was rubbing, and it was really hot, and it was like I couldn't. But when I took the hat off and didn't wear it, it started to heal up. So there's something on my cool Giants hat that I can't.
Better wash that.
That needs. So I don't know. It looks really weird, like I ran into a wall or something. We have video of everything I've done. So there's no way I ran into the wall. But so what's going on with you, dude? How are things?
It's very exciting down in Carneros right now. We've got bud break has just sort of happened. We've got little tiny baby grape clusters happening.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. Yeah, it's beautiful down there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we're looking forward to. We just bottled some rosé from Pinot Noir, so
And
that is lovely, and it's the perfect.
And it saved that. Those wines saved us. When we go to spring training, we take a box of wine, a case of wine with us because we're winos. That's what we do. But normally they're really cool, big reds and stuff.
Yeah.
This year it was 97 degrees almost every day. It was smoking hot.
Wow.
So we took rosé,
Great.
and I'm telling you, that was a hit. Yeah, the people there have no idea how cool rosé is.
Yeah, they're still trying to get over the fact that it's not White Zinfandel.
I'm modeling some wine up for us today.
Oh, you're doing really good, Dave.
This is a, can you guys see okay? Oh, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we can see your back. Wow. Just made it. Yeah, make sure that's not the reserve because the reserve is now a limited. Yeah, we can't.
It doesn't say reserve, does it? It doesn't say reserve.
It probably does. We can't open it though. Is that reserve? That's not reserve.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, we're almost out. I'm down to 3 cases, and then that's it. And the wine club's getting most of that. So anyway, so rosé just
It's
rocks.
perfect.
And we talk about this all the time here, and it does. I mean, it is the perfect. You don't have to have 97-degree weather, although in that weather, the big calves are a little hard to swallow.
Well, I'm
but-
glad you had rosé to the rescue.
We did. We had 6. It's not very cold, is it? We had 6. 7. Let's see. We only had 3 reds, champagne, and the rest were rosés.
Okay.
So from multiple different wineries. Damn, they're good, man. They're really good. I was going to pour this Chardonnay.
All right.
Because I'm parched. I mean, I've been running around.
He hasn't had wine for over
ran from
20
the
years.
airport.
I ran from Oakland, California to here
Right.
today.
Got it.
I felt like I could have walked. There were many times. There was so much traffic that there were many times I could have just
Just gotten out of the car.
got out of the car and said, I can get there. I can do this. But thank God for the commute lane that only took the county, 40 years to figure out. But, well, let's say cheers.
Welcome
to you
back,
guys.
Scott.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you for keeping the show going.
All 30 seconds before the street person walked
Well, I wasn't sure. I
understand.
planned it to be here on time, but it was tough. It was not.
in. Nice.
A lot of-
Glad you could make it.
Yeah. So this is Super Sonoma Chardonnay 2010.
100%.
100% brand new French oak. So if you like the creamy, buttery, oaky California style, that's not too shabby.
Well, here's one thing.
Man.
While you're unparching yourself,
Yes.
one of the things we want to try is we want to put the same wine into a flute and then kind of compare how it changes the nature of the wine.
Oh, very good. Oh,
And
good.
We're going to try and do the same thing with the red wine too.
Okay.
But depends on our glassware.
So
and everything else.
we just want to,
yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
We're gonna pour a little bit in there.
So
All right.
Let's see. Good thing we're doing this early. Are we going to have to do this again later?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So again, I had no idea what we had set up here for the show because I just said, Dave, entertain the gang, and we want to keep the thing going. I'll try to get there on time. So this is very cool.
Well, yeah, what we're trying to do is look at glassware and the difference between the glasses that you use. And then we can talk about why things are the way they are and why tastes change. Now, we've all seen the, you go into the Italian restaurants and they pour it in this little like juice glass, right? You know, you do that. So there obviously there's nothing wrong with using juice glasses to have wine because as long as you enjoy the wine. However, there are nuances because of the glassware that ultimately Riedel came out with like 48 different shapes of glasses based on various kinds of wine and so forth. And I know you have, Maggie, some experience with that, right?
Right. I just had somebody in the tasting room ask me the other day why we were serving our Pinot in the Burgundy style Riedel glasses.
And they were that smart to know that was...
That was different. No, I added the Burgundy part.
Oh,
They
okay.
just knew it looked different than the glasses that they'd seen at other places when they were trying other varietals and things like that.
Well,
I
cool.
didn't actually have an answer for them.
Well, we're gonna talk a little bit about that today.
Information.
So if you're at home, you can find a wine. It can be red or white because we can do this either way. We're just having to start with the white wine today. What we like to do first when you do this is start with the wrong glass and then go back to the right glass. So this is a great kind of classic universal tulip-shaped glass, so it closes back up on itself. This particular flute is also doing that to a certain extent. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take a sniff of this. And I can say I'm not getting anything on that nose at all.
Very little.
Well, and while you were talking before, because I can't wait, I need to have more wine in my system. And I took a little sip of this, and then I took a sip of this. Right before I got the glass tilted, I got this rush of aroma that came out and caught it in the nose. And I wasn't intentionally doing it, just
Oh, wow.
as I brought it up like that, all that fruit went whoop. Right.
And you can appreciate the wine more having done this, where so many times you lift up a wine and smell it, and there isn't a whole lot there.
Right.
And it could be the glass shape, it could be the wine itself. So now let's go back and talk about the different kinds of glasses. If you have a little juice glass, you have something in a, what I'll call a checker tablecloth Italian restaurant. You know, it's the pizza kind of place. And they're just serving their Chianti, which probably comes in a box somewhere, and they're serving it in a glass. As you look at that glass, it's holding the similar kind of quantity as this, or up from there. But when you smell from that, you don't smell a whole lot of the wine. It doesn't close back, the glassware doesn't close back on itself. Instead, it kind of relieves that and lets that escape. Which is great when you have a wine that is not terribly expensive because it doesn't express itself as much. So as a result, you really don't need that part of the experience. You're not going to get that part of the experience. You're not missing anything with that experience. And in a while, we're going to try a cold wine and a warm wine.
Well, that's what you were doing over here. I reached over here, and I'm real sensitive to Chardonnay temperature. And winemakers in general, for their own personal taste, they like it a little bit room temperature more than as myself as a consumer. I want it much cooler.
Right.
But there's a huge difference on what happens, right?
It absolutely does.
So when I felt this, I went, that's not anywhere near warm enough.
Right.
And I went for the cold, and that's what we poured in here.
Right.
So you're going to fix me, though, right?
We're going to make sure that we taste all the expressions going on here, the shapes of the glass, also the temperature, things that affect the wine. And again, we've all heard about this. We wanted to finally sit down and try and see what happens here. So I'm definitely not getting any kind of aroma on this at all.
No, you really don't. It just kind of goes blah.
And again, less expensive wine often does not
Can't
express
pour
itself.
that one yet. Oh, you're experimenting? All right.
It does not express itself. And as a result, it really doesn't matter what shaped glass you have. But if you want the expression of the aroma and so forth in the bouquet of the wine, then you really need to look at what kind of glassware you're using. Yes, this does close up. This flute does close up a little bit. This closes up a whole lot more, but it has a bigger bowl. And there are various reasons why the bigger bowl works. We'll talk about that as we continue here. But so we've now smelled this. Let's taste it. Out of the flute now, we're going to taste the Chardonnay.
And again, my problem was that my nose covers the opposite side of the glass, so I'm not getting anything. Unlike this, my nose fits in there. You know,
Why is that?
I have a big nose. I don't know. It's just, and so I'm not getting the aromas. When I'm tipping that glass up like this to drink it, I get a hint of that coming out on the top, and I don't get that on there.
So we've tried that then first. Now we're going to try tasting the other glass.
I would just say that to me, drinking out of champagne, Chardonnay doesn't taste like a Chardonnay.
It doesn't.
So it doesn't to you? It doesn't taste like
Doesn't
Chardonnay,
taste like Chardonnay.
in the flute.
If I were doing a blind tasting, I would give it something else.
Well, there's a blind tasting that has been done by a blind gentleman, Toby, and he did a literally. It was all the participants were blindfolded, and they were walked into the room arm by arm, and then they sat down, and he had all these wines out, and he had Chardonnay at room temperature, and most of the guests in that
They said,
room
yeah.
said that was a red wine.
See?
And so because your perception changes when you can't see it.
Right, so you're working with what you have,
Yeah.
which is the temperature, and so you're already thinking, what kind of red wine is this?
So I know the next thing that you want to do. Do we want to have two of the same glasses, one with the proper temperature
Yeah,
and one
we
with
could.
the other one? Karina, can you set that up for us? Do you have any more glass over there?
What do you want?
I would like to have one more each of these. Do you have that?
And in the meantime, let's
just pour this in
imagine
there.
now, if we had a chance, we could probably spend 2 hours doing this with the larger burgundy glass that you're talking about. The
Right.
Riedel burgundy glass has a nice big bowl on it. You could try taller glassware, straighter glassware, the kind that don't have the pedestal. Sometimes take on the same shape. In fact, this looks not unlike that
Right.
one that doesn't have the pedestal.
One without the pedestal.
So that probably won't make a difference, other than what's wrong with not having a pedestal on the glass? Can you think of anything that would go wrong?
Your hand warming the temperature of the
And,
wine.
right, so now that's where you cross over.
Yeah.
The shape of the glass now suddenly is affecting the temperature of the wine, which would be a very interesting reason not to necessarily do that. Now, if you get served wine like this and it's really too cold, it's been in the freezer or something.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll grab it like this just to warm it up.
Yeah, and you'll know because it'll have a little condensation.
Yeah.
That'll, especially where I was. My God, that would have been crazy.
Goblet versus stem.
Well, yeah, because in white wines, you don't want your hand to hit the bowl and warm it up, change temperature. Because we're going to show the difference in temperature, and it's quite dramatic. Do we have a cold version of this wine? Yeah, that'll work. It's not as dramatic. But it's,
So going to his point, this becomes generic white wine, doesn't it? Substantially. I mean, I'm picking up a little more of that, the tropical characteristics and so forth of the fruit, but I'm not getting the total experience. And partly we learned back in, I think, 4th grade health class that the nose definitely adds to our sense of what taste and flavor is. So certainly that's part of what's missing in this experience here.
Right.
so I've got the cold one here, and I've got the more room temperature. So I'm going to just check the nose on that room.
I can tell you which is which blind.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
This is the cold one.
Wow. That's amazing.
Pretty amazing.
This changed the nose rather dramatically on the one that was to room temperature. There's so much more going on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That it throws you off onto what it is. I was fortunate enough in the beginning of my career, I worked for Pine Ridge, and we did this exact scenario, but they poured it without us knowing that what they were pouring. And most people got to the warm one and thought it was corked because it's a crazy aroma in the Chardonnay. And this is kind of a fun thing you can do at home too.
So a lot of times wine
Oh, yeah.
buyers,
Just throws it
wine
way out.
buyers will actually let it be warmer because it expresses all the nuances of the wine, including any flaws that might exist. And it doesn't have that balance that when you squeeze it back into that colder temperature, all of that crazy different musical notes come together and create more of a symphonic kind of quality to it. So now going to the cold wine, first of all, the expression I get in here is I get a lot more of the kind of the baking spices from the kitchen. Things are still in the making, not ready, not happening yet. In the finished cold wine, though. It pulls all together. It's all really well balanced. It goes on and on. The finish continues on and on.
Yeah, this throws me off big time. The room temperature one makes me crazy.
I get more pepper on that.
You do? On the cold one? On the warm one, yeah. You're getting what I call like baking spices and things, which are like the white pepper. You
Just it weirds me out too much because it's just, to me in nature it's wrong.
Alcoholic too.
That's why if you tasted it when you couldn't see it, you'd
Yeah.
think it's a different wine completely.
Right.
You never would have necessarily said that's a Chardonnay. And most of the people that did that tasting that Toby did, they got it way wrong. They weren't even
Yeah.
close. They were switching over to red wine. Like
Yeah.
really, you know, it's just
Because you don't expect it.
right.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
So, is there an ideal temperature to serve Chardonnay at then, or?
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. if
Right?
if
You go back to my winemakers, they want it really close to this. I do not like it this way at all. You got a question? Go ahead. That's a great question, by the way.
We'll get answer.
Brad was asking if you can buy black wine glasses in different sizes to accommodate a wine tasting like this, blind wine.
Yes, they do have kits you can buy. And I think the Epic online, I think they have a series of them that are all blacked out so you can't see them. A blacked out. Yeah, they're probably readily
What do you mean
available.
the glass is black?
Yeah, you can't see what's.
Sorry, I want to see my color of the wine.
No, but if you're trying to do an experiment or a blind tasting, that's the only true way to do that because you're getting.
And believe me, when you look into that black glass, you can't tell if it's red or white.
No.
You see liquid
No.
in there, but you can't tell.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
going back to your question, because I kind of jumped on that.
Right. What the ideal temperature would be.
Right. So what again, I like it a little cooler, but
Yeah, I do too. If you think in terms of 50 plus or minus, and more plus than minus, that's a really good temperature for geeking out on a wine. As you get colder and colder, it's going to tighten up and tighten up. And if it's a really expressive wine like this one, I think this one, which wine are we tasting today?
the
Super Sonoma.
Super Sonoma, yeah.
Super Sonoma 2010
Yeah.
Chardonnay, I think can stand being particularly cold. If it's a hot day, you want more refreshment, and you don't have a Sauvignon Blanc, but you want a Chardonnay.
Right.
This definitely would hold up for that. Also, this warms up nicely. I would still like to have some chill that, in the end, if you think about it, the body temperature is 98.6. So you've got 100. If it feels warm to you, that means this is over 100 degrees. So think about that.
Wow.
So make sure you still feel like, even in its warmest state that you want to taste it, still feels like it's still chilling down your mouth a little bit. And then the degree with which it does that is going to determine where the balance point is on the wine. I'll just say this, that a better Chardonnay will stand a wider range. And this one will stand a super wide range, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But not as warm as this, simply because you lose. That's that much liquid you paid for that you're going to lose and not enjoy as much as if you would have had it at the right temperature. So why not have it at the right temperature and enjoy your
Yeah, and if you're
wine.
doing a dinner party and you're getting prepared for the dinner party, keep that Chardonnay nice and cold, and then let it come up a little bit. Let the temperature come up a little bit as you're serving it. That's perfectly fine.
That's fine.
But give yourself an edge by having it super cold. When we pour in here, our cold box in the back is extremely cold. That's probably clicking like 42
All right.
degrees.
All right,
So that
good.
stuff's really cold. We bring it out here, and in the function of pouring, it starts to come up in temperature, and
Right.
then this cooler back here is nowhere near as cold.
Right.
So then it balances that out. You got to start a much cooler wine and let it come into that sweet zone, which you're right, maybe 55 or some number like that, unless you're a winemaker, and then hell, don't even bother. Throw your refrigerator out, because they drink it freaking right out.
Oh, they do.
They do. It, and it,
It's like pulling it out of the barrel. When you thieve it out of the barrel, that's what it is.
I know it's probably.
Well, actually, that's probably cold, like because it's in the cellar.
Right, it'd be colder
Yeah.
than this.
Oh yeah, drinking that Chardonnay, room temperature. If you really close your eyes, that's a hard thing to. You line up 3 or 4 of those, you're gonna miss most of them. Yeah.
Right now, because we know it is Chardonnay, our mind is already locked in on that.
Right.
But if we had that blind,
Yeah.
you'd have to really figure out whether it's got that refreshment going on.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's a darn nice wine, and it's the only wine we didn't bring. We didn't bring Chardonnays with us. We're big. Andrew and I and Kevin and Scott Lee, but he's not in wine country, but he understands this stuff too. We really love the rosés. I mean, I'm like a rosé nut. Everywhere I go, I pick up rosé. I mean, it's the thing I target in on. Rosé and Cabernet Franc, you can make me happy on. And we had a Coletto, a little shout out to Coletto, which is part of the Foley group. Their Cabernet Franc, we had that. Last night. That's right. We had it last night. I know. It's trying to think.
Funny how that works.
I know how it works. We had that last night. We had it in the room where it was air conditioned, so we weren't. Because outside was like, even at night, it was 85. Like just silly hot.
And I'm glad to live in Northern California.
Well, we live in paradise. Although I froze my butt off.
Yeah.
and the wind. There was no wind there. It was perfectly calm and just smoking hot. And that's, cool for a while. Well, lucky we had a pool and,
And chilled rosé.
yeah. And
So tell me, in your tasting room, or at Donham, you pour Chard and Pinot.
That's right.
So the Chardonnay you have some that are in a style that is like this style?
Absolutely. I mean, our particular Chardonnay, we do a little bit less oak in the barreling program, so there's only about 50% or so of new French oak used in the barreling. So other than that, though, we are looking for a nicely structured Chardonnay that will age very nicely. Something like this in 2010 would still be drinking very nicely right now. So I definitely, though, I keep them in the fridge, and that's why I'm asking you, because I keep them in the fridge, I pull them out, I decant, and then my decision is always, do I put it back in the fridge for a little bit longer, or do I leave it out to get closer to room temperature? But I just don't
Right.
know. I don't have a thermometer, so
Right, sure,
I'm kind
yeah.
of just guesstimating.
You'll learn eventually just to hold the bottle and know about what temperature
Yeah.
the wine is inside. Although if you just take it out of the freezer, having just put it in, the glass will be cold, but the wine will still be warm. Yeah. So you can definitely chill something down quickly. You're at a party now. You just ran out of the Chardonnay. You have one more to put in.
Right.
You drop it in the freezer. As long as you don't forget it, because if you forget it,
oh man, in my house we've forgotten those several times.
and you have
Like,
Chardonnay
almost
ice.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So the cork will pop out. And
If you
it'll
need
kinda
to
mess
open
up
another
the
one of
day.
those, go ahead from the back fridge, please.
So the freezer is one good idea for a fast take on that.
Okay.
And then when you're ready, as you get closer, you can always move that into the refrigerator, which will help stabilize it. Putting it back in is a great idea if it's just sitting there. But you want to, as Scott said, and I think that's a great piece of advice, is chill it down more than you really want it to be by the time you taste it. So that when
Yeah.
you get it out and present it, by the time it gets poured around, people talk some more, and they start sipping it. It's going to be a lot closer to the right temperature.
sweet spot.
It'll be a little bit colder maybe, but that's okay because as it sits in the glass, it'll be in that range, top to bottom, in there.
And if you have to cool a white wine or a rosé down fast, add a little water in a bucket. We had to do it in the sink, but we accomplished the same thing. You add a little water, and when you add a little water to the ice, it speeds it up dramatically. I mean, it really does. Yeah. Oh, a little salt in there too? Okay. Yeah.
That'll help too.
Yeah. So,
Good tips.
so there you go. Wow, we're learning so much. All
Do
we
you move the bottle too?
No, I don't do that.
Yeah, that's the quartermaster sommeliers. You know, you want to get that bottle in the ice with water, and then you want to do this because as it moves around, anything that was inside the liquid toward the center will now be kind of moving it back out and be in touch with the cold glass. So that's
Well,
basically it.
on that similar motion idea, I had several people that I had talked to in restaurants, and Andrew had brought it up, our son that works here, that there was an experiment where they put the wine in a blender.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. All right, go for it. Go for it.
That's not staged. I'm just right. So I think what I want to do for next week is actually do that. But the only way that that's going to work, in my opinion, is you're going to have that blind somehow not know that it came off the blender. So we'll work on that, the mechanical side of that. So we'll see. But we'll do that with a cab. And see if it does improve the wine. I mean, I keep hearing that it does.
Then I'll save that part of the story for next time when we can go.
So let me tell you a little bit of fun spring training stuff that we got to see, because we have been in motion since Thursday at 6 o'clock when our flight took off. We have been in motion, and this thing hasn't stopped or slowed down until right now. So we arrived on Thursday morning, got our car, and got to the hotel to drop all the goodies off. And then we went over to the Diamondbacks' brand new stadium. Now we were there 3 hours ahead of the game time. But when you go to spring training, behind the stadiums, which are very small, there are 10, 12,000 people. We're talking really tiny. It's almost like a college team. But right behind all of them are diamonds where they're practicing with the minor leagues and then the majors. And the Diamondbacks one had like 8 or 10 different fields, and they're doing different things on each field. But you get to walk out there, and there's the players right there. And then they have like rope lines set up when they get out of their practice, they'll come and sign your baseball or your hat. I don't have my hat on because it made a mark on my head. My son Kevin works for Chateau Montelena, and one of the guys over there, his cousin is Cody Ross from the Diamondbacks. So we get over to the former Giant, great guy though, super guy. So we get over and so there he's practicing in the outfield, and he gets done and comes back out, sees us. Kevin had a big sign made, says Chateau Montelena is here, and he walked over and saw us and came over and hung out with us, signed our hats and our baseballs, and so that was really cool to meet. Just a cool, and then a couple other.
Any wine?
Well, we were supposed to give him this bottle of Chateau Montelena, but we couldn't get him hooked up after we saw him on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
But we went to the game. The game was kind of blah. It was out of all 4 games we went to, that was the blah game. But Cody didn't play, so we weren't as excited. But we were just fitting that in. But it was a neat experience, showing that you can get right up front to them, and they're genuine, gracious. They'll come up and sign anything. It's just really a neat thing, up close, real close, because you don't get that close when you go to AT&T Park. Trust me, there's no way you're getting anywhere near them. So the second game, which was on Friday, was the A's against the Seattle Mariners. So we're watching. Now, if you're a real baseball fan, you'll dig what happened here. The game goes back and forth all the way through, and it gets around the 8th inning, and the A's are down 2 going into the the bottom of the 9th. Okay, so that's at the A's stadium. It's the bottom of the 9th. They're down by 2. 2 guys get on, and now it's getting exciting, and we're whooping, we're yelling and screaming, and we were behind home plate 6 rows back for $28. Hello, $28. It was so cool. So we're sitting there, and I like the A's, but I like the Giants better. And if they play together, I certainly want to have the Giants win. But I like the A's. I hate Seattle, any of those. I don't like any of those teams. So we're sitting there, we're watching this thing, and this rookie gets up, who has been on blazing fire during spring training, trying to make the team. He gets up, bottom of the 9th, 2 guys on, jacks one right over the fence, walk off home run, see ya, game over. It was classic, man. It was so cool.
Nice.
So that was like super cool, super cool.
People
So,
that can hit in the clutch like that, I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting.
And then the third game, that was the Giants against, who'd they play? Milwaukee? Who did Giants play, Kev? Was it Milwaukee? I keep saying Milwaukee for some reason. I keep screwing that up, huh? That was the Giants game? Who'd the A's play? Oh, they played the Tiger. Oh, sorry.
That's
Switch
okay.
that. Switch that.
We'll
That's
edit
right.
that later.
This is a long show. This was a long weekend, man. Okay. So it was the team I hate that we really nailed. So we played the Seattle Mariners at their stadium. And we did that because the Giants raised their damn prices, and that really ticked me off. But anyway, so we went to their stadium, and we were in the all-you-can-eat area. We bought these tickets, and for $20 you can get all-you-can-eat. I know, we were torturing these people. They were losing money like crazy. I'm going, you kidding? My kids are going to clean you out, man. You're not going to make a dime here. Not a freaking dime.
Well, how much did you eat?
Yeah. Well, I ate a lot. I ate a lot. We got really, I gained 30 pounds. It was awful. So this game's going back and forth. This is the Giants game. And it went back and forth and back and forth. And we were down on that game by 4 runs. And in the 9th inning, we score 5 runs, take the lead. And if you're baseball people and you follow who this pitcher is, the Giants at the bottom of the 9th brought in Strickland, who, if you've ever seen him pitch, he throws like 180 miles an hour, and sometimes guys can tag him big time, and because if you hit it, it's out. It's not even it's not a second. It's gone. Right. It is gone. He comes in and destroys them completely. Winner.
Yay! Go
So now we got two games, like, right? So then Sunday, third game. This is the Charo game, and in right field at the Giants Scottsdale Stadium. In right field, they have a big tented area, and it's all you can drink and all you can eat for $90, which is for us was a bargain. It was all you can eat, all you can drink. And we're in the outfield, and now it's the Dodgers. And of course, we hate them. I hate them worse than Seattle, whatever.
Wisconsin.
See, it says booze. I hate booze. No. Anyway, so this thing went back and forth and back and forth, and we won it in the 9th. And Giants baseball. We tortured those teams because last year we got 0 wins when we went. Not one damn game. They weren't going to let us come back in the stadium. So anyway, that's our spring training. Yeah, the Giants did good, guys. They look really, really, really good.
Right.
Yeah, we're pretty proud of them. That was really cool. And it's a neat. If you ever get a chance, do it. And if you need tips, just call us and we'll give you the inside scoop.
Will you give me tickets as well, or?
Shit, no, you gotta buy those yourself. Dan, those were expensive but everybody else is cheap. All the other stadiums were under $35. I'm just telling you. Behind home plate, like 6 rows back.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very cool. So anyway, good time had by all. I'm glad to be back in America.
Now back to our regularly scheduled
Yeah.
program.
Yes. Go to the right. Oh, wine! More wine! Oh, damn!
We're gonna have to dump.
All right, we gotta dump this out because I can't chug that down. That'll kill me.
So into the warm. Into the warm.
Are you doing it side by side?
We're gonna go back to the flutes.
Oh, you're gonna go back to the flutes?
We're gonna do now with the red wine the same thing, not the temperature thing, but we're gonna do
Okay.
So we're gonna.
All right. So I need and then this can go.
There's one more flute sitting on there.
And there's one more flute for you. Okay, so I'm pouring the same wine in this style glass and this style glass.
I was just gonna go ahead.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm just gonna rinse a little bit here.
Oh,
I'm just gonna do this.
You don't trust my Pinot's going to knock that out?
Well, I want this to smell and taste really great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know it will.
We're faking this. Wait, oh,
Thank you.
all right. So
No,
I'll put a
I
little.
lost my dunk bucket version of that, but we'll wing it.
All right, this is Amorosa Bella, 2010 Russian River Pinot Noir. So we're putting them in a, like we did first, we're putting them in a flute, and then we're also putting them in what we would call a red wine glass. This is kind of a universal. So you smell this. See, I smell this, I can't get hardly anything. I can't get anything to come up to the
I
rim.
just get Chardonnay. No, I mean,
Yeah.
I made that up.
But this, I get a bouquet of rosé, and it's not even, I mean, of Pinot Noir. It's not even a Pinot glass in traditional. We don't do that here because we break them, and they're freaking expensive. So these are much more hardy. Yeah, they don't last. They're terrible. But what a difference in the nose. This is where you're really, aromatics is key in here, right?
Absolutely. That's why I chose Pinot Noir, because there are a lot of nuances and layers in Pinot Noir that come as a result. A part of the experience is what you smell as well. So this way you can divide out and say what is flavor profile and what is augmented by the nose. So as we do this here, I am picking up a little bit there and here. I'm just picking up a little bit of expression of toast or some kind of what vintage do we have here today?
10.
10, okay. But it also has what I generically call dishwater kind of nose to it. It's trying not to say much of anything. Every once in a while something will pop out, but it's...
There's nothing in the nose here.
Yeah, it's
I mean, you really don't get a damn thing.
Mine's burned off there. Okay.
It's like if you blindfolded me and I just went like this, I would say that's a different wine.
Right.
I wouldn't, you know. And that's what you guys can do at home and in the audience here is do that with your friends, but go to the extra step of literally trying to blindfold it. And it might be kind of fun game that you play and you know, neat endings.
I use a brown bag, and then you cut the holes afterwards.
You're kind of friends, 'cause most of my friends don't know why.
Well,
They just while you're blindfolded, they walk out with the wine, right?
yeah. Thanks for blindfolding. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good strategy.
All right, so I'm not getting anything on the nose here.
No,
You're
no.
already jumped ahead. That's great.
I know. I
like
just
that.
can't help myself. I'm.
The nose now. What do you
I'm
think
on a
about the
run
nose
here.
here on this one?
Oh, there's much more going on. I mean, it's like a completely different wine. It's like
Yeah, it's like
an
Pinot.
explosion of Pinot.
It is.
smells.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting a lot more.
A little earthiness, a little, mushroom kind of, Yeah.
Definitely mushroom earthiness. There's some darker fruit and some bright fruit with it. All right,
Nice.
so now comparing what you've done, so describe the difference between that and then this one. I think could be a
Well, because I'm not getting the aroma in my nose properly, which is adding to what I'm thinking I'm getting in the expression of the wine.
Right.
I can't get it with this.
right. It's hard to pin down if you even guess that it's a red wine, even guess that it's a Pinot Noir. It's not there, right?
No.
Do not pour your Pinot in this kind of glass. It ain't gonna happen, dude.
Right?
I mean, now I'm one to tell. I'm one to talk. All of the wine that we were drinking over the weekend were in plastic cups.
And it kept tasting better and better as it kept going, right?
It's amazing.
I mean, what can I say? I can't. I can transport wine. I can't bring my own glassware. That's like ridiculous. I can't. But at home, you have a little more opportunity. So. Well, that's a great experiment.
They make these
I
in
like
plastic too, you know. You can do that in plastic. So you at least have plastic.
little
plastic.
plastic, good plastic. Yeah,
Maybe
that's a
yeah.
tough one. Probably not going to work.
Well, does plastic change the taste of the wine?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, it's almost porous in a way. It's just not. It's we were against the elements. We just didn't have an option.
Plus, doesn't the wine and the beer, I say, heat up faster?
We didn't. For us, we didn't use the plastic for any of the dark red wines outside, so there wasn't a heating up element. So that probably didn't come into play. We were focusing on colder wines that were already pre-cold. But yeah, it's not a good. Just buy a freaking glass. Stop being so cheap. That's what we should just do is buy them and donate them to the hotel when we leave. And you know,
Yeah, why not?
oh yeah, you can go to-
Preferably,
yeah.
How about the holster?
or leave the hotel some Cellars of Sonoma glasses, so they know you were there.
Yeah. All right. So wow.
Am I allowed to try the second one?
Oh, yes, by all
Yes.
means. We jumped ahead.
Just didn't want to get ahead. I didn't want to get ahead.
Okay. So I'm really not here. I'm right here. That's life size. He did a life size picture. That's the same size in my head.
I know.
It might have a bigger.
Unbelievable. Life size. Oh my God. Wow.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
My
please.
question is, then, okay, so we are trying this Pinot in this lovely tulip-shaped glass, more of a traditional style, classic style. What's the reason for having a burgundy-shaped glass for Pinot?
Great question.
A burgundy glass, it has a wider bowl, so that's what you're talking about, like a wider bowl. Maybe not as wide as in relation, like a cognac glass has a really tight top, and then it goes wide, but it's also squatty too. One of the cool things about a burgundy glass is it has quite a bit of rise surface all the way up to the top. And again, when you're doing this, the esters, they call them, volatilizing the esters is what that is.
Volatilizing the esters?
Esther.
Yes,
Who
look
the
that
hell's
one
Esther?
up. Yeah, and why volatilize, right? What happens is that shakes up the things that make this wine smell great, but it can find its way out by way of the sides and not the center. Because if it was the center, then it should work fine right here too.
Oh, okay.
So we know that it rides up on the sides. And it's interesting if you're into, especially with Pinot Noir, I love Pinot Noir and the nuances of Pinot Noir, is you can bring your nose to this level and get different experience than you do at this level versus this level in here. And the way I describe it is you're probably going to pick up more, think in terms of like this being the ground level.
Okay.
So the mushroomy things happened over here. Up here, you're going to get more of the fruit. And then down deeper, you're just going to get that whole experience. It tends to go for the darker fruit. You'll get any of the spices and other things that go on in there.
So you did that in layers. I just did that.
Wow.
And I, as you were talking,
Yeah.
I did that, and I got what you were
Yeah,
saying.
if there-
It really does
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
So
I made it up.
So
Interesting thing
it's
I have
in
learned.
layers. You're looking in layers here, right?
So yeah, for instance, if you get floral notes, remember this is the ground level here. Floral notes will tend to be up here where the flowers grow, not down to soil. The soil and the mushrooms down here, and then deep inside, then you get the the totality experience is all throughout, but you get a whole different experience below ground here. Yeah.
See what
Try
you guys learn? It's just crazy.
Wow. I'm gonna take that back to the tasting room.
All right.
Yeah, but no matter how
Wow.
I swirl this, I can't get that to come out at all.
I think this wine,
Try
which
that.
again is this wine is which one? This is Amorosa Bella.
Amorosa Bella 2010 Pinot Noir.
This is really pretty wine. Very nice.
But I'm getting it out of
It's
here.
not-
Yeah, it doesn't belong in there.
No,
right? Yeah.
it doesn't.
Can I
No.
switch it? Is it
Yeah, it's like
experimental?
Right.
it's like yeah.
You had
It's
enough.
like you know that's just not gonna work, dude. Yeah. Well, that's a great demonstration. So use the method of layers here to really get the expression.
It gives you a chance to define what those are. Otherwise, somebody says, well, tell me all about it. You go, I don't know, you got some of this, you got some of that, which you can get. But if you begin there and work your way from up there down, you really have a chance to see the nuances as they change.
Well, and
Does
if,
that happen for, I'm sorry.
no.
Does that happen for different varietals as well?
Yeah.
So it's not just Pinot.
Right, but Pinot's really interesting because there's so many layers
Yeah.
in Pinot
It's
that it's a
aromatic.
pretty complex wine. But you get that also, especially when you get like a Bordeaux blend, a Claret blend or something like that, you do that. Chardonnays, you can do that too.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you learn that in the Court of Master Sommeliers?
No, I learned it in a, I don't know where.
That's really cool.
Thanks, guys.
Brown bags out the door, that's a good thing.
Well, and you know, in that Burgundy glass, that layering would be even more dramatic.
Right, exactly.
This doesn't really do it as much justice. It's
Yeah, if we
fine.
had a chance to do the next over, I guess you've got a couple in the house, but if we did a bigger bowl, it would definitely change.
Yeah, and then the customers would want it. They like it in a bigger bowl. Way better, right? So, a completely different experience. Yeah. So that's how that works. See? How about them apples?
So what questions do you have? I heard you had a question or two.
Probably a stupid question.
There are no stupid
I was
questions.
looking through the ad here, and
Okay, come over here.
pigs, and I'm coming in, right?
All right, you're in.
There's a microphone.
Just want to hear that.
And 100% hand-picked grapes. Aren't all grapes hand-picked?
No, they're not. No.
Oh.
In the Central Valley, which is where you get all your. I'm gonna just move this mic over so you can hear.
Well, I had no idea about that.
In the Central Valley,
I've
which
been
is where
hand-picked wines for a few years. But
yeah, no, which is where you see the value brand wines. They grow in wider rows and spread that fruit out, and you're going to get bigger clusters, more fruit. That allows the machinery to come through and knock those clusters down. In the ultra premium wines, you're growing in a more narrow space and much tighter. The machinery, if you could get it in there, would pulverize that
Right,
fruit
yeah.
and ruin. Because you want to get really nice, clean clusters for ultra premium wines.
Okay, but on that note, then aren't a lot of these wines that have a wine drip system, water drip system? Wouldn't the machinery kind of damage that?
No, it's right in line with the vine itself. It
So,
doesn't protrude out, it's underneath.
Oh, okay.
And it's in between the row.
All the new wines are like in rows now.
They're all in
I
rows.
seriously thought all wines were handpicked. I mean,
No.
all grapes were handpicked.
Well, marketing works then, yes.
See?
We hide the rest of that stuff.
No, I won't drink them when she
I
wants.
would think that.
That's a great question because people have really no idea, and it's really a system of ultra premium versus your value brand wines. A $10 and below wine, probably they used machinery most likely to pick.
I don't drink those wines.
And now we know.
Good job, thank you. That was a good question.
Good question. Now, sometimes, like at Opus 1, they have a piece of equipment that goes down 2 rows at once. It comes up across the top and down, and there's a cab at the top. So it's actually a upside down U, I guess, and it's going through 2 rows at once. And he rides high so he can see both sides at the same time. And that's how they get their efficiency on that. So
Wow.
that's more expensive equipment though.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
They can afford it.
They can afford it.
Yeah, what do they sell? One wine, or 2. Maybe they do 2 or a second.
Hey,
Well-
this wine that was in here now smells great in here.
It's
It's amazing.
anybody needs to know glass matters. It does. Don't let anybody kid you. Don't go cheap on glass. At home, you can afford to be a little more gentle with the way you clean them. In a place here, they break in the larger bowl. But man, you throw this Pinot into a real Burgundy glass, different experience. It's a completely different
It is,
experience.
totally. And it's not, it's one that if you were going to have to experience this fine wine in this, that experience you have here will cost you $8 probably, because you can go get something off a shelf somewhere and have that same expression in whatever glass you put it in.
Yeah.
But why waste the good stuff in the wrong glass,
Yeah.
especially that far wrong?
Yeah.
So.
Now, not to knock this. This is a great glass. This is made by Rito, but it's for champagne. And in another shows, we'll talk about that because the shape of this glass is really designed for sparkling. And
It
there's
is.
a reason for that
Yes.
as well.
I want to
So-
know. I hope you do
I know.
another.
And that's a
We'll have you
teaser.
come in.
That's a
That's a
teaser.
teaser. We're gonna have blenders. We're gonna have champagne. I mean, come on. I love that part. You guys like champagne? We'll have champagne, right?
And your grilled cheese.
Well, and grilled cheese, gourmet grilled cheese. I'm telling you.
I would have had some for if I'd known you were going to show up.
I'm telling you. I found another version we saw in Scottsdale, and I ordered it on a night that wasn't now. I don't know. I can't.
They were all blended
They're
together.
blending together now. It was a Friday or Saturday or Sunday, one of those. Yeah, grilled cheese with chicken, and it wasn't bad. When they had these nice potato chips with it, which is kind of
Nice.
cool. Which is, I'm just trying to add things to our.
Was this right before the Wisconsin game?
No.
Oh, what?
We didn't watch any basketball at all, and it was the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. Now it's the top
That's okay.
10-4 or whatever. I'm not a basketball guy. Kevin's over there going, "You sound so stupid. That doesn't make any sense."
So
Oh.
what kind of questions do you get in your tasting room about wine? And
Where's the bathroom?
Oh my goodness. I mean, where do I begin? There's so many
Where's the
questions,
bathroom?
and they run the gamut. You know, there's people that come in as very much amateurs. I've had the very basic question of how do they get the fruit? You know, do they
They
ferment it
put it in
with
a-
the raspberries and the strawberries and things like that, to very, very hard questions that, frankly, I don't know the answer of, such as why do we serve Pinot Noir in a certain shaped glass, and what's the purpose of that? So
because the boss said so, and that's appropriate to do, right?
But no, it really, I mean, what I love about what I do is that people are curious about it and they love to learn about it. And if you can teach anybody one thing, like today I learned how to do the smells, not only
That's
of
how I do
temperature,
it.
but
Everybody has a different way, but that's
but that's great, and then they walk away having had a really great time, because not only did they enjoy fantastic wines, but they learned a little something too. So
that's
I don't
great.
know.
Excellent.
I just try
That's
to have fun.
what we call hospitality.
Yeah.
And you're great at it.
Well, thank you, Scott. I
So
tried.
plug your winery. Tell everybody where it is, the name of it, what kind of wines
Thank
they're going to
you.
find. Go ahead,
You
give it a
missed
plug.
right before you came in. It's the Donham Estate.
Oh, the Joy-
It's in Carneros, and we're by appointment only. So please call for a reservation. Donham is DONUM, and you can find us on the internet at www.thedonhanestate.com. And I'm Maggie, and I will host
Ask
you.
for
I love
Maggie.
that. Ask for Maggie. Yeah, you gotta love to ask for Maggie. Just so you guys know, we've got live music this weekend. John Peter, Ricky Allen Ray, and Craig Corona. If you like the 70s music, and if you like Crosby, Stills, and Nash,
That is an excellent drawing.
so if you like,
We had an artist do this.
yeah. So these are the musicians that we're having. They're called the Stick Band, and.
You could actually see
So
their
you were
notes.
going to use this if I wasn't here. That we have music. You got my commercials.
Yeah.
in. I love that. This is a well-oiled machine.
Hey, by the way, who drew that?
Yeah. Yeah. Who did draw that? Did you draw that?
An artist.
An A artist or a artist?
An artist.
An artist. Okay. So live music this weekend.
I still got magic marker on my hand right here.
What else is going on? It's April. What's happening? Oh my gosh. The weather's nice. It's beautiful. This is, huh? Oh, that's right. Easter coming up on Sunday. So do something nice for mom and dad, and go to church and tell God you love them, and have that good stuff. I mean, that's what you want. And if that's the only day you go to church, just go to church. What the heck? It
Come
won't
home and
hurt
have
to-
rosé.
Yeah, then come home and because we're gonna go and we're gonna come home and have a big brunch.
With some rosé?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, champagne, and then we're gonna go do paintball,
Oh, right on.
and then we're gonna get in a limo. And we're gonna go to a dinner in at Barn Diva, right in Healdsburg.
Oh, that's
my
this
that's my
Sunday.
Easter.
Oh,
That's my
gonna be
Easter.
so fun.
So I'm gonna get saved in the morning at church. Come
then
back
you're gonna
and
screw it up
celebrate
later.
that I did that and have some food,
I
and
bet
then
you he's got it
and then I'm gonna get shot by her.
She's
in
dangerous.
paintball. I know.
I would watch out for her.
I think I'm gonna pass on that. You guys are crazy. And then we're gonna go to dinner by limo with Mark Davis, one of the greatest Americans, who in spring training during the game, and the Giants were warming up. I did a Skype to Baghdad, and I turned the camera. I said, "Look, my friend, that is America. Come home." And he's coming home tonight, so it's cool, man. He got a little taste of America. You gotta love that. All the way from Baghdad, live in the stadium, man. Who does that stuff? Just me. Why not? I told the people that we were sitting with, I go, he was in Baghdad, and they're going, they're like freaked
going
out.
like this.
What? It was awesome. It was great. So I want to thank you for coming in and
Good job.
you do a fantastic job. We have a new position for you. We'll talk about the lack of money later.
He doesn't charge you
Is there
too much
wine?
to be on.
Oh, look, lots of wine. I mean, we can do this all with wine, isn't it? And Dave, thank you for stepping up.
Of course.
I was not sure that we could make it. We were trying hard, man. We got real close. That was incredible. Ron, thanks for filling in for Andrew. He really appreciates that because he's probably asleep. And then Karina, of course, with our social media and our camera work and all of our fun stuff. And all of you for drinking the wine, because if we drink the wine, that's how we stay here. That's what that's all about. So next week we're going to do the blender thing, and so.
I don't have it.
You're a musician now.
But this is where you discover wine one sip at a time here at Cellars of Sonoma. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's good to be back home.
Cheers.
Bye for now.